Informatica has now been in business for 20 years. I joined Informatica 7 years ago. And I still remember when I competed with Informatica back in 1999 in the ETL market. When we look at what's happening today, the industry that we are in, as data professionals in the room, we are in the beginning of a new chapter, not only in IT, but also in business. What's happening today is that data is more important than ever before. The challenge that we have, however, is that more and more data is actually being created than ever before. And that data is critical to your business success. So as IT professionals here in the room, my question to you is, what will your role be in changing the way that your organizations do business? How will you be able to leverage the skills and the knowledge of using technologies like Informatica to succeed? My challenge to you is, are you ready to be able to leverage and harness the data in this big world that we live in today? When we look at the systems and technologies that your companies have invested in over the last 20, 30 years, most of these applications were designed to help make transactions, to run your business. Many of these applications are systems that actually reside within your organization. These systems that we call on-premise were ultimately designed to help leverage technology in order to, as I mentioned, run your business. In Asia, as well as in the United States and in Europe as well, we are now seeing that more and more business organizations, not IT, but business executives and departments are adopting solutions that are offered in the cloud. Whether it's Salesforce.com, Amazon Redshift for data warehousing, or storage in the cloud. Cloud provides both opportunity and challenges that organizations need to meet. We also have a phenomenon where social media, mobile devices, and the Internet of Things is generating more data than ever before. With more data, there's more challenges, but there's also more opportunities for your organizations to differentiate yourselves versus your competition. So the question is, how do you do that? How do you do that with technology of the past? And I would say, honestly, Informatica's technology of the past has helped organizations up to this point. The question is, how can Informatica help going forward? So I'll be talking about that today. Because of the fact that data is becoming more and more strategic for organizations, there are a number of new roles that are now evolving across all geographies. The first one on the top left, the Chief Data Officer. One of the jobs that I have here at Informatica is that I run the Global Financial Services Solution Group. And I speak to many of the world's largest banks, insurance companies, and in financial services as well as in industries like healthcare and pharmaceuticals. There are executives with the title of Chief Data Officer that are not just popular, but required in many organizations today. These are people that are responsible for defining the processes, the policies, on how data should be used in order to support the business. On the upper right-hand corner, the Chief Information Security Officer is also a role that's evolving, but also becoming very strategic. These people are now responsible for not only protecting the systems and applications from internet threats, but they're also responsible for protecting the one thing that every criminal out there wants. They don't want your laptop. They don't want your hardware. They want your data. On the bottom left, the data architect. What we're finding now is that the data architect role is not an IT function. We're finding that data architects actually report to the business organization because business needs the data. IT doesn't need data. You think about it. If you are a developer, you don't need data to do your work. You're developing and creating systems and solutions that support your business partners. So the data architects are also becoming very strategic in organizations large and small. And I see this trend happening here in Asia Pacific as well. And then down below on the right, the data scientist. One of my previous roles many years ago, I was a statistician. So my background in statistics looked upon solving problems by understanding trends in the data that we used to collect in a bank. We were called statisticians back then. Nowadays, we call them data scientists. Scientists that actually apply methodology in analyzing and looking at trends and relationships within the data. But none of these people can succeed without actually having the capabilities in your organization to actually leverage the data that all of these people need. And that's what Informatica does. Okay. But it's not just these roles. If you think about data today and how strategic it is, we're also seeing that CEOs are talking about data. They're talking about how data is going to help them differentiate themselves between their competition. They're talking about how data is going to help them provide more value to their customers, employees, and their shareholders. We're also seeing that data, the amount of data that's being created today in the world, is actually helping create new business opportunities. About 3 months ago, I actually sat down with Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase in the United States. And one thing that he mentioned to me, which was fascinating, was that they are now looking at leveraging all of that data that the bank is creating as part of their day-to-day functions and turning that into a new business opportunity. Think about that for a moment. If you were able to take the data in your organizations, in your companies today, and leverage that to actually create money, what would that look like? So we have customers now that are talking about not just using Informatica to help run their business, but how can Informatica actually help them change the business that they are in? And that is what we are seeing. But the technology behind it, again, as I mentioned, is very critical. Let's explore more in terms of what we're talking about there. Okay. So all things data. We are at the beginning of a new chapter in the technology industry today. This doesn't matter whether you're in Korea, Australia, London, or in the United States. Data is common across. Data has no language barrier whatsoever. We all know this. But as I mentioned, data, however, is changing the way companies do business. And what we're going to talk about is the difference between the old world of IT, and then I'm going to share with you our vision and strategy of what the new world not only will look like, but what it looks like today. Because we actually are in the new world as we are sitting in this room here at the COEX Center. As I mentioned, the old world of IT was about investing in business applications that help run your business. We saw accounting organizations or departments using traditional client-server technology, data being created, data being accessed on traditional database platforms like IBM, Oracle, etc. Manufacturing departments will use their own systems and create their own data. HR, human resources, will use platforms like PeopleSoft. Nowadays, PeopleSoft systems are being replaced by cloud solutions like Workday, as an example. Front office or CRM technologies. The number one CRM solution provider in the market today is Salesforce.com. Why are they successful? Because you don't have to have IT to actually purchase their software. Business people are going about doing that directly. And then, of course, supply chain and procurement. Legacy technologies like Ariba and I2 are also designed to help run the business. What we're finding, however, is that all of the business applications that your organizations have invested over the years are very important to your business, but they don't go away. However, the data that they generate is very critical. So that middle layer is very critical. How do you get access to the data and overcome some of the obstacles of traditional business organizations that do what they do, but not being able to share the data across the enterprise? In the new world of IT, it's not just about business productivity, but it's about taking advantage of new opportunities to help succeed and really run your business. So we see applications no longer just being on your organization's firewall, but now, as I mentioned, cloud is growing. Social media. What's interesting about social media, here in Korea, everybody's texting. Everybody's on their mobile devices. In fact, when I was on the subway last couple of days, I noticed that people here in Korea really don't talk to each other. They're always on the phone, texting away, but every time they're using their device, there's more data that's actually being created. And this data is something that actually is now providing assets that your organizations can leverage. We also live in the world of what we call Internet of Things. And what I like about these terms, Internet of Things, big data, I'm a marketing person, so I like the fact that it's trendy. However, the reality is every device in this room is actually generating data. So the question is, how do you actually leverage that? How do you share that in your enterprise today? How do you ensure that the data that's being collected can actually deliver business value? And how do you do that in the new world that we live in? And that's what Informatica is investing in. So I'm going to talk about some of the things that we're doing to help drive business success. I mentioned about on-premise systems, those old technologies that many of your companies have invested over the years. The reality is they aren't going to go away anytime soon. Even though cloud technologies are popular, what we're finding in all regions is that the systems that exist within your enterprise remain. But in order to really leverage some of the new investments in cloud or big data, they have to be able to access the data within your on-premise environment. And that is what's changing the world. As new solutions in the cloud are evolving, what we're also finding, however, is that the big challenge is being able to connect that data from the cloud to the systems that you operate within your organizations today. And it's not just about any data. If you think about it, what's really critical across your business applications? We call it master data. Master data about your customers, your partners, your products, employees. Every system within your organization will have a different version of that data. And how do you actually know what the version of the truth is? With technologies like Informatica Master Data Management, we help connect those questions with the answers by providing a single solution that allows organizations to distribute their critical business information to any system, anywhere, and at any speed. But it's no longer about just having that type of data within the systems in your organization. Informatica is now investing in cloud-based solutions that allow organizations to manage and govern and protect data, both in the cloud as well as with your on-premise environment. And we do this with our cloud master data management solutions. We also made significant investments to help organizations share data in real time. And again, as I mentioned, it doesn't matter what the system, the source is going forward. Let's talk about analytics. We used to describe business intelligence software, data mining, reporting software as the tools that the business needs. Most of these applications on the top are accessing data in a data warehouse. That's what Informatica developed 20 years ago, which was a solution, we call it ETL, to help build data warehouses. In the world that we live in now, big data and analytics is changing the way that organizations look at how they need to invest, what they need to invest. And what we're also finding, however, is that technologies like Hadoop, in-memory databases like HANA from SAP, these are all great technologies. But it doesn't matter what you invest in. If you don't have the foundation that allows you to access and govern, standardize, cleanse, and deliver the data into these environments, and that is what Informatica is doing. Now, most of our technology to date has been really for IT professionals. What we are doing now is that we are investing in solutions that allows business analysts, people that are actually using Excel, for example, for reporting. We're now providing solutions that allows them to access the data that they need, to validate, standardize, and create the answers that they need for themselves without having to go to IT. One of the areas that you will be hearing more of is what we call Project Springbok. This is a solution that allows business analysts to become the data scientists of the future. In the old world of computing, when it comes to security, one of the things that I've been focused on lately is understanding how the data that these criminals are accessing, whether it's Target, whether it's Citibank. I'm sure there are data breaches that are going around here in Korea as well. These bad people are not after your hardware. They're not after your clothes. What are they after? They're after your data. Most security technologies, unfortunately, have protected around the border. The border that prevents denial of service attacks. Borders that prevent unauthorized access to the systems. But if you don't protect your data in these systems, you're completely exposed. What we're doing here in Informatica is we're complementing a lot of the security technologies that exist, including firewalls, encryption. Encryption is only good if you're moving data from one place to another. But if you want to use that data, you have to unencrypt it, fully exposed. What Informatica is now doing is we are investing in being able to mask that information, but still allow business users to leverage that data for their use. And we do this with our solutions in the area of data security. In the middle of next year, we will have a solution available in the market that we call Secure at Source that will allow you to discover what data that you need to protect. We can also identify if data from one system is shared across other systems that is important to protect, such as credit card information. What other systems actually have received that data? And then being able to access and protect it through our masking technologies. So you'll hear more about Secure at Source in the middle of 2015, which will change the entire market around data security. So if you only know of Informatica for ETL, get ready. Informatica is completely changing itself beyond just the old solutions that we offered. However, we're very proud of the fact that we are leaders in that market today. So at Informatica, we are investing. We're investing in providing integration across our traditional solutions or products, as well as some of these new technologies that are coming out. And we're doing that by providing an integrated platform. Now, we've spent over $2 billion US in the last 20 years in developing this platform that many of our customers still know as Power Center, Data Quality, MDM. What we're now doing is we're taking the knowledge and the experience of the past 20 years and evolving our solutions into the next generation technology that allows companies to harness and access any data that they need, any system that creates it or needs it in any speed, whether batch or real time, and then ensuring that is secure. And we call that the Informatica Intelligent Data Platform. Let me kind of talk about what intelligence means in the Informatica platform. The first thing that we are focused on is ensuring that we have the foundation of our core technologies. One of the values of using Informatica is that when you write an ETL mapping or a data quality rule, you can use that rule or that mapping across all of our technology. That we have metadata that is shared across the common platform. But we're also adding an intelligence layer. So by being able to identify patterns in your data, being able to identify what is being used, how is it being used, by whom, and what data needs to be protected, we are increasing not just the ability to access your data, but actually allowing you to analyze the data that you're creating as well as delivering. And that is our data intelligence layer. With the Internet of Things, Informatica is now investing in providing capabilities that allows you to run data quality rules, for example, directly on a device, on a mobile phone. You no longer have to leverage or think about client-server architectures to leverage the data that you are looking to access. Informatica is now able to run natively on devices, whether it's the thermostat on the wall or the mobile device within your pockets or in your bags. And this is the world that we are striving for. This is the way that Informatica is investing. To be able to provide technology that helps you access the data from systems of the past, but be able to deliver the technology that your business organizations need, and be able to harness the power of big data, which is only going to get bigger, and who knows how big it's going to get. We're able to deliver that data in the right way. Also, in the right way. So, think about your roles here in this room. The question is, as I asked earlier, if you're just thinking, you're sitting here and saying, I'm an IT professional, and I know Informatica for ETL. What else should you be learning here today? And how can your skills of the past help deliver success for the future? And that is what Informatica here in Korea, as well as our corporate organization back in California, are investing in, to help provide solutions that allow your organizations to be successful. So with that said, I want to thank you very much for your time today, and I will be here the rest of the afternoon. When we do speak, hopefully I can actually share my answers in Korean. So 이 프레젠테이션을 끝났습니다. 감사합니다. 예.